Alright, we already got introduced, but we're Canton South, and we were going to cover teen suicide because we thought it encompassed a lot of topics dealing with teens today. I'm Nathan Serafini. We have James Griffin, Clint Oxendine, Lucy Thompson, Jessica Reed, and Derek Bates. So without any further ado, this is our topic. A brief candle, both ends burning. An endless mile, a bus wheel turning. A friend to share the lonesome times, a handshake and a sip of wine. To say it loud and let it ring, we are all a part of everything. The present, the future, and the past. Fly on, proud bird, you're free at last.
This is Clint, who had a personal experience with suicide and depression. Clint is your normal 16-year-old high school student who tried to commit suicide at the start of this school year. He was a normal kid with good grades and great friends. What could have caused him to attempt suicide? I'm sure we can all relate to the stress that being a teenager can bring about. Schoolwork, home life, and just general teenage stuff. To be so depressed to think that he would have to kill himself, give up his life to find a way to escape the pain. Why didn't Clint go to anyone? Someone who he could have talked to during his rough time. He was surrounded by his friends and family, and still he felt all alone. He is not alone in his experience though. 1 in 8 teens will suffer some form of depression, and 1 in 33 teens will suffer from clinical depression. If it happened to Clint, could it happen to you? Depression can cause regular people every day to consider cutting, using drugs, drinking alcohol, and ultimately committing suicide. Every individual out there will be affected by depression in some way, shape, or form. There are ways to prevent depression, ways to save people you love from making the last mistake of their life, to prevent your family and friends from grieving, pain, and suffering. We are presenting you with this information. We wish to inform and help people who feel like they have no way out. Thank you for inspiring our cause.
Okay, I just want to deliver some statistics about suicide and depression. I hope these numbers really open your eyes to the reality of the situation. Each year, 1 in 5 high school students has thoughts of suicide. So I just want you all to look around you. That means every 5 people that you see in this auditorium, 1 of them has had thoughts of suicide. More teenagers die from suicide than any other illness, from cancer to AIDS combined. It's completely astounding to think of all the numbers and affected lives. Overall, only 1 in 5 depressed teens get psychiatric treatment, and those who are untreated are likely to experience a recurrence of their depression. Girls are twice as likely as boys to attempt suicide, but boys are more likely to actually die. This is probably because of the method used. Girls are more likely to overdose, whereas guys are more prone to use firearms. Suicide is not something to be taken lightly. If one of your friends says anything about suicide, even jokingly, talk to them, find out if there's a deeper root to what they were saying. I hope you all consider these statistics and look at them not only like numbers, but like people.
Some symptoms of depression would be lack of social contact, loneliness, and loss of hope. But the problem is that most people don't see these as symptoms of suicide, only depression. Suicide and depression is a domino chain, slowly falling over. I urge you to take out that one domino that'll stop the end. Thank you.
Would you know if your friend, your spouse, or your son or daughter were depressed? Would you be able to realize how close they are to suicide? There are many symptoms, some previously mentioned, that could warn you about suicide. Things like dramatic changes in attitude, loss of appetite, lost in desired activities, and giving up of prized possessions. Do these make you think of someone you know? How about these? Alcohol abuse, insomnia, making a will, and writing a suicide note. These can all be symptoms of suicide. Alcohol abuse can drown out the feelings and make the people feel numb, while insomnia can cause them to never be able to leave their feelings, and because they can't sleep. Hopelessness can lead to feelings like there's no way out, and possibly write a will or a suicide note. If these symptoms remind you of someone, get them help. Suicide is too serious to ignore, too real for it to get, too real to forget, and too horrible not to acknowledge. Thank you.
Suicide affects everyone, family, friends, and most of all, the victim. The memories and remembrance that suicide leaves behind is losing and unforgettable. Remembering the good times, the last time you saw them, and the good times you had. Suicide and depression can scar the people you love most. Some effects of suicide and depression are grieving, which can lead to another person getting depression or thinking, or committing suicide, which can lead to a never-ending cycle. The hardest part is the loss of a family member or a true friend.
And now we have a short video that kind of just hits all the points that we've talked about.
the same poem we opened with. to share the lonesome times, a handshake and a sip of wine, to say it loud and let it ring. We are all a part of everything, the present, the future, and the past. Fly on, proud bird, you're free at last.